Far away, at the bottom of the world, there is an island in the sea. The rimu trees on this island grow very tall, taller than houses, taller than most things you have ever seen. Their roots grip the dark stone. Their branches reach up into the night sky and hold the stars between them. The sea moves around the island all night long, and the forest is deep and green and full of the smell of old wood and wet leaves, and something sweet underneath all of it, like honey, like flowers, like the forest breathing. Under the roots of one of those old rimu trees, something is sleeping. Can you see it? It is round and soft and the same green as the moss and the ferns. It is tucked in so neatly under the root that you would have to look twice, maybe 3 times before you found it. His name is Echo. He is a Kakapo. In the language of the first people of New Zealand, Kakapo means parrot of the night. Do you know why? Because the only time Echo comes out is after dark. The sky above the rimu trees had gone from gold to deep blue to the dark, rich color of the sea at night. The first stars came out, and under the root, Echo opened one golden eye, then the other. He stretched. He shook his round green body all the way from his beak to his tail. Said Echo. He stepped out onto the forest floor. His nose was very good, better than most birds. He could smell the wet bark and the cold stone and the sea far away, and under all of it, something sweet. Listen, Seep. Something like honey, something like lavender, something like old, good things. That was Echo himself. That was his own smell, a smell that belonged to him the way his green feathers did. Every Kākāpō carries that sweet, soft smell with them through the dark. He followed his nose along the path he had walked 1,000 nights before. The same roots, the same stones, the same bend where the big fern grew over the trail. Then he stopped at the base of a rimu tree, with clusters of small, round fruit hanging from a low branch. He reached up and pulled one free. He ate slowly, his beak working at each small fruit, the sweetness of the island filling his whole body. Then another and another. "Good," said Echo, quietly. When the fruit was finished, Echo walked to the foot of the tallest rimu tree in the valley. He looked up, way up, past the first branches, past the second, past the third, up to where the stars shone between the needles. He put his feet on the bark. Here is something you should know about Echo. He cannot fly. He is the only parrot in the whole world that cannot fly. His wings are too small and his body is too heavy and round, but he can climb. His claws grip the bark and his strong legs push, and he goes up, step by step, the whole forest dropping away below him. "Up," said Echo, low and quiet, to no one in particular. Higher, higher, the forest floor fell away into the dark. The ferns and roots that seemed large before were now tiny far below, higher still, and then Echo reached the very top of the tallest rimu tree and sat in the highest branch, and below him the whole island spread out in the dark water threading between the trees, and above him the stars were so close he could almost feel their cold light on his feathers. He breathed in. He breathed out. Then, because Echo cannot fly, he did the other thing he knew how to do. He spread his small wings wide and pushed off from the branch and fell, slowly, like a leaf the forest was letting down gently on purpose. Down through the dark air, the island rising toward him until he landed on the soft ground with a small, solid thud. He shook himself. He walked on. Deep in the trees, Echo had a secret place. It was a hollow in the ground, smooth and round and carefully shaped like a bowl. He had pressed the earth smooth with his own body over many years. He had cleared the paths around it so they ran neat and clear through the ferns. He walked into the bowl. He sat very still. "Here," said Echo. His chest began to fill with air, more still. His whole round body swelled. Inside him, something was building, something too big and too deep to stay inside much longer. He breathed in one more time. He opened his beak. Echo called, and the night caught his voice. The sound that came out of Echo was not quite a sound you hear with your ears. It was a feeling, the way you feel thunder in your chest before you hear it with anything else. The rimu trees trembled just slightly. The ground shook a little. The bowl he sat in caught the sound and sent it out across the valley, through the trees, across the dark water that ran between them, all the way to the far hills. 5 kilometers, far enough to reach across a whole city from one small, round, green bird. Echo went still. He tipped his head to one side. His golden eyes were open and waiting. The valley was very quiet. Somewhere far away, a small night bird called from the ferns. Water moved over cold stone. No answer came. Echo filled his chest again. He opened his beak. Echo called, and the night caught his voice. The valley was quiet. The valley was still. Nothing came back. Echo sat in his bowl for a long time after that. The stars were very bright overhead. The rimu trees stood tall and still. He was not the only Kakapo on the island, but the others were far away, and the valley between them was very big. Sometimes the valley was very, very quiet. And then, through the trees, something moved. A small light, far across the valley floor, moving between the rimu, stopping, coming closer, stopping again. Echo watched it come. It stopped at the edge of his bowl. A keeper. She had a small torch and a quiet voice and a notebook open in her hands. She looked at Echo for a long moment. Then she said his name. Echo. Just his name, softly, into the dark. She said his name, just his name, Echo, and he lifted his head because he knew that voice. She came to this island many nights. She had a notebook with his name written inside it. She knew where he slept. She knew his paths. She knew the sound of his boom crossing the valley. She had heard it from far away, and she had walked toward it. She knew him. Echo stood up in his bowl. His chest began to fill. Echo called, and the night caught his voice. And then, far across the valley, rolling through the dark rimu trees, over the water between them, something came back. A boom, low, deep, slow. Another Kākāpō, an answer. Echo lifted his round green head. He listened. The keeper wrote something in her notebook, and high above the stars watched both of them. Echo in his bowl, and the distant other voice. 2 small creatures in an enormous, quiet night. "I'm here," said Echo, and stood a little taller. His chest swelled again. The bowl waited, the valley waited, and Echo called, and the night caught his voice, and this time it sent something back.
The Kakapo is still out there right now in the night forest of New Zealand, doing exactly what it was born to do. Do you think somewhere across that dark valley, another Kakapo is listening for Echo's voice? Sleep well, Fenekie. The wild world will be here when you wake up. Good night.